I actually celebrate 31 years in business, which is quite something, I think. I clearly started very young, you know. That was a joke, by the way. But yeah, it's great to still be around. Let's put it that way. Yeah, so in that time, I've spent a lot of time studying and learning from some of the world's leading sales, marketing, and business growth experts. I've advised over 10,000 businesses how to market themselves and have an average increase in turnover from my clients over the first 12 months of 45%, which I'm really proud of, I've got to say. So that's just a little bit about me, but I wanted today to try to add as much value as I can to you and try and help you to grow your business. Now, one of the things that I've learned and found to be really true over those 31 years is that I believe that people go for the jugular sometimes a little bit too early. You know, I'm sure this has happened to you. You've perhaps gone on to LinkedIn and somebody's asked you to connect. You've said yes, and then literally 30 seconds later, they're pitching you. They're trying to sell you something. They don't know you. You don't know them. There's no what I call know, like, and trust, because I believe that people buy from people who they know, like, and trust. When I know, like, and trust somebody who does what I'm looking for, what am I going to do? Am I going to Google it, or am I going to go with the person or the company that I know, like, and trust? I'm a big advocate of Apple, personally. I buy Apple whatever. If Apple came out with a car, I'd probably want an Apple car. And so I'm a real loyal customer to them. And that's really, I believe, what we've got to try to create in our small businesses. And I'd like, if I may, just to share my screen and talk to you about how I think you can create, I suppose, loyalty within your market, but more than that, how you can get known by lots and lots of people, which is again really, really important. Just bear with me while I sort my slides out, if I may. Okay, so this is like a pyramid or a staircase that I've basically developed over many, many years. I will say it's nothing secret. It's nothing, you know, that you couldn't have done, but it's something that I've put into a vision there in front of you. I believe that one of the most difficult things that we're all facing now as small businesses is obscurity. Nobody knows of us. Nobody's heard of us. You know, we're not Apple. And getting known by your target market should be an ongoing thing and one of the biggest areas of focus for your business right now. You know, I see people all the time who are on LinkedIn and they've got maybe 1,000 contacts. When I ask them about their email database, they tell me that they've got, you know, maybe 800 or a few thousand people. Then when I ask them about the size of the market, they'll say, well, you know, it's any business in the UK. Now, I believe there's somewhere, I've heard somewhere between 2 and 3.5 million businesses in the UK. I don't know quite what the truth is, but there's a lot of them. And you know, when we've got a database or a LinkedIn following of 1,000 people, then you know the vast majority of us are not known. So one of the things that I'd like to stress to you is try to work out what you can do to grow those databases, the number of people that at least know you. You know, you need to get out to new blood, if you will. Get new people onto your list so that you can communicate with them. I've done this over many, many years. You know, I've got like, I don't know, 15,000 people on LinkedIn that I'm connected to, which is more than most, but not as much as some. I've got a nice database I think it's about 11,000 businesses. And I've got similar on the rest of my social media. But in truth, even after all those years, it's still only a fraction of my UK potential. And I work worldwide. You know, I've got clients in Dubai, in Spain, in Poland, in Germany, in the USA. And to be honest, I'm hardly known at all in those countries. So, you know, I've still got work to do if I want to overcome obscurity. So that's my number one thing for you. Put together a plan. Excuse me. That could be on LinkedIn, it could be Facebook, other social media, it could be advertising through Google, it could be using email, it could be going to networking events like this and building up contacts as you go. It could be running podcasts. I do a podcast at the moment. It's called the Results Mastery Podcast. If you want to subscribe to it, you're more than welcome. And you can find it on iTunes, Amazon Music, Spotify. Isn't that cool that somebody like me who just runs a small business like you do can get themselves on Amazon Music and iTunes and Spotify? I get over 8,000 views every single time I do an episode. And it's just a brilliant way of marketing, and it doesn't cost me hardly anything. But I'm getting a load of traction, loads of people listening to me, and so on and so forth. On YouTube, I've got over 2,000 videos, would you believe? I've been doing it a long time, and you know, none of them get like 1,000. You know, you hear these people who, you know, got 100,000 views on my video. I don't get that, but I do get a steady flow of people listening to me on an ongoing basis, which is what you want. Moving on to number two and up that stairway, if you will, when we've got people, we need to communicate with them. You no doubt talking to people this morning, you're perhaps meeting new people, and that's great, and you know, brilliant to do. But if you meet them and go, oh hi, you know, it's great to meet you, let's swap business cards, and you do that, and then that's it. What's the point? It's, you know, it's all about that continued relationship. You've got to keep in touch. I often use the story of, imagine, you know, I was looking to find a lady in my life, you know, and I want to, I don't know, maybe one day get married. I am married, but you know, if I did, you know, what would I do? Well, what I could do is go up to a load of ladies in the street and go, hi, my name's Steve, would you like to marry me? No? Oh, all right then. And I just go off and ask another lady. Now, sooner or later, I might get somebody crazy enough to say yes. But the chances are, what I need to do is to communicate on an ongoing basis. I take a lady out for a meal, and that she says, I really enjoyed it. I said, yeah, so did I. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll drop you another email in 3 months' time. How's that? And we can go out again. That ain't going to work, is it, in a relationship? I know we're talking about a romantic relationship here, and that's different to a business relationship. But is it? Is it really? You know, should we be communicating on a regular basis with the people that we've managed to overcome obscurity? We've got into their world, shall we say. We need to stay in there. So we need to communicate on a regular basis. Now, I can't tell you how often, you know, it depends, doesn't it? It depends on what industry you're in and so on and so forth. But I would say that, you know, people can leave. You can have a load of customers and some of them can leave, and that could be because you don't have that relationship. You have some prospects who are interested, but other people are trying to get those prospects as well. And if they're keeping in touch with them better than you are, then perhaps that works better for them. So once we've got this communication, we've got to get them to a level where they know, like, and trust you. That's where that comes in. And not only you, but they've got to know, like, and trust your products or services. You know, you might be a nice person, but I don't know how good you are at what you do. So I've got to know that as well. And then I've also got to trust the company, you know, that you're going to be around and you're going to be able to provide this service. So we've got to get people to know, like, and trust us. And that comes from a variety of things. But the one thing I'd like to tell you to do to take action on that is to buy a book. It's not one that I sell. And I'm making no profit, or I'm not on commission or anything like that. But it's by a guy called Daniel Priestley. It's called How to Become a Key Person of Influence. And it is, I think, one of the best books I've ever read on business. And it's not just about how to become a key person of influence. It's also about how to become a key business of influence. So in other words, it's about positioning you as the expert in what you do. That's really what it's all about. So you can get that on Amazon or anywhere like that, I'm sure. And I would recommend you buy that book. But basically, if you don't buy the book, it's all about, you know, what could you do to position yourself? Well, you could do what I'm doing today. You know, I've met you here. I've overcome obscurity. Hopefully, you've at least heard of me now. I've not done any of the consistent communication to you yet. But hopefully by now you're thinking, actually, you know, this guy, Steve Mills, seems to know his stuff. He's worth listening to. I hope you're thinking that, by the way. I don't know you're thinking that. You know, I'm trying to build my reputation. I've told you I've got a podcast. That's good, because that's building know, like, and trust. You know, my website is results-mastery.com. You can go and check me out there. That builds know, like, and trust. And you've heard me tell you about a YouTube channel that's got 2,000 videos, and I've got 31 years of experience. All that is about building the trust. You know, you're not somebody who's just turned up one day at a networking event online and doing a talk, and you've never heard of him, and he holds no credibility. That's what it's about, really. It's about building credibility. You know, it's very difficult, I think, in a lot of industries to know, should I buy this person or that person? Well, the person with the credibility, with the reputation, with the experience is often the one that you go to. So that's number 3. Number 4 is we've got to then get people communicating back to us. So it's no use just, you know, if I send you an email following this and you read it and you don't do anything, and then I send you another one, and then I send you a text message, and then I pick up the phone and call you, but you don't answer the phone. That's sort of good from my point of view. I'm doing my job, trying to, you know, get into your world, as it were, not necessarily trying to sell you anything at this point, because we don't know, like, and trust each other fully. But I want to try and get some communication back from you. Now, once I start communicating back from you, then all of a sudden we've got something called rapport. We're in rapport. You send me you send me an email saying, thanks for today, I really enjoyed your talk. I send you one back saying, it's great to hear, really pleased you did. And by the way, if you'd like a one-to-one meeting with me, I'll be very happy. I don't do hard selling, but you know, I can maybe talk to you about your business and what you need to do to improve it. So that's good, because what I'm trying to do next is number 5, and that is turn that into meetings. We've got to meet people. I can't stress to you enough, which is great, by the way, in terms of what you're doing today. The number 1 thing that you can do in business is to talk to people. You know, whether that's at a networking event, which is brilliant, one-to-one, maybe after the event you go for a coffee with somebody, or you arrange a meeting with them. That's how that should work. Whether you talk to them on video, That's really, really powerful. And if you're one of those people who go, oh, I hate to hear myself on video, do what Nike says and just do it. Just get over it. Video is incredibly powerful, and I strongly recommend that you take a look at that. And then number 6, and this is again incredibly powerful, is that you work on improving your conversion rate of meeting to sale. Let's say, for example, you get 10 leads in May, right? And you convert 2 of those leads into new clients. What have you got? You've got a 20% conversion rate. Now, if you had a better system than you've got now, and if you improved your closing skills, your sales skills, your rapport building skills, and so on and so forth, and basically you just became better at selling, and you had a system for doing it, and instead of getting 2 out of 10, you managed to get 2 more. You got 4 out of 10. So, that's still not, undoable, is it? I mean, you might already get 4 out of 10. And if you get 4 out of 10, but you could get 6 out of 10, that would be even better. Because what this does is it doubles your business. Going from 2 out of 10 to 4 out of 10 is twice as many, even though it's only 20% more. It's 20% improvement from 2 out of 10 to 4 out of 10. And over time, if you do that month on month on month, that's going to double your business. If you go from 4 out of 10 to 6 out of 10, that's going to increase your business by 50%. So I suppose higher you get up that funnel or that stairway, the more powerful and more effective things are. And by the way, in the world that we're living in right now, the opportunity that is AI, if you're not really embracing that, now is the time to do it. If you don't, if you take no notice of anything I've just said, go and learn and understand how to use AI. And you probably sat there thinking, well, I already do, Steve. I know how to use it. I'm on ChatGPT and maybe on Claude or something like that. And I already know how to use it. My answer to that is no, you don't. You don't know how to use it. And why I say that is that I don't know how to use it either. I'm trying to learn, and I'm spending a lot of time learning. I'm watching videos on YouTube. I'm learning from masters. And, why I'm saying I know you don't know is that, I don't think anybody knows. Even full-time professional AI companies don't even know, because it's changing all the time. Yet just yesterday, I came across this this AI software that's not actually complete yet. The guy's beta testing it. And what it will do is it will do things like answer the phone for you. It'll answer all your emails. You can actually phone it up and say, hi, Steve Mills here today. Just wondering whether I've got any important email messages. And it'll come back on the phone saying, yeah, you had over 102 messages so far today. There's only 5 of them that are important, Steve. You've had a message from X, Y, and Z, but you've got 2 urgent messages that you need to respond to straight away. I was thinking of telling them to ABC, what do you think? And I go, yeah, that's perfect. Can you do that for me? Yes, no problem. So it's exactly like having I don't know, perhaps a PA sat in the office doing that type of work. And this is coming, guys. This is the level that AI is coming to. Now, whether you like it or not, it's coming, and I think we all need to embrace it. There's a lot of fear around it. I know people think it's going to take their business, it's going to take their job, but my belief is that it's not necessarily going to be AI that takes it, but somebody who knows and understands and uses AI will. A little while ago, in fact, for many, many years, I used to design websites. It wasn't my main thing, but I had somebody who worked for me. One of my clients came to me and said, you know, I want to design a website. I could do that, and now AI can do it. So you know, get learning that. That's all I can say. So that's about it. Thank you very much for listening. If anybody's got any questions, I'm very happy to try to help.
First and foremost, thank you very much. Well done.
Thank you.
If you have good information all the time, I've seen this presentation a couple of times now, I'm still learning something every time. Has anybody got any questions or any comments? If you have, could you go to the microphones there or no? No? Okay. I think you've explained everything more than efficient.
Okay.
Can you share your website details and that?
I'll put that in front of me now. But yes, send me
Website. If you look at my screen behind me, it's in that. No, so it's there. It's there. It's really weird to point because you like the opposite way around. See it down there in the bottom left-hand corner. That's my website.
I'll send you details anyway, but I don't have the
Okay.
podcast. So send me a podcast link and I'll make sure that's included in the email.
Fantastic.
Right, okay. Well, thank you very much. Cheers, then.
Pleasure. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your meeting. Thanks very much for listening.
Cheers, then. All the best, then. All right.